Hello, Assalamu alaikum. So again, this is Azka, and I teach business and accounting to O and A level students. So first of all, I just want to do a request, like to you students, that I've been uploading many videos on my channel related to O levels accounting, and for A levels accounting, I will be uploading different videos related to May 2024 paper very soon after completing the business studies and O levels business studies and A levels business past papers. After completing this, I will be working on the A levels accounting too. So, but the thing is that uh, I am very disappointed because I've been uploading many videos almost every day. I try to upload one video for you guys, but still I am not getting the many subscribers from you. So it's very heartbreaking condition for me. So if you are watching this video, so I request you to subscribe to my channel and also try to share this video with your other friends and just spread this video in, like, you can share this video with your college friends, with your school friends, and you can tell them that subscribe to my channel, and I will be uploading many more videos on this channel in future. Okay, so basically now we are going to solve again the paper 3. So paper 3 business. So as you can see that this is my paper 3, May June 2024, paper 3, and this is variant 2. And previously I have uploaded variant 1 for paper 3, and now I'm going to upload this the variant 2. So you can just download the insert from the internet and you can read the case study, and after that just come to this video and try to understand all the points which I have like written here. So my first question is that analyze two advantages to SF of using the flexible employment contracts. So basically we are bound to write only two advantages. We have to write one application, two levels of analysis, and one knowledge. When you are stating the advantage, this would be your knowledge, and you can also write the definition of flexible employment contract. So whatever you want. So now let's jump to the question answer. So as you can see that I have written the first advantage of using the flexible contracts. So the first advantage would be there is a cost efficiency and flexibility in labor cost. So flexible employment contracts such as temporary or zero-hour contract enable SF to adjust its workforce according to demand. So given that SF's output is highly dependent on factors like weather conditions, which can cause fluctuations in production volumes. So the ability to scale its workforce accordingly can help minimize labor costs during the periods of lower demand and reduce output. So for instance, if crop production of ice cream sales decline due to market condition or seasonal variation, so SF can reduce its workforce without the financial burden of fixed salaries. So this flexibility allows SF to maintain the profitability by controlling cost more effectively, especially in a highly competitive market for soya and maize. So what would be its second advantage? So as you can see that I have identified the advantage. So this is my knowledge, and in this whole paragraph I have used the application and my analysis point. So agricultural output can vary significantly due to weather, and so can the demand for SF products such as tofu and sauce ice cream. So flexible contracts allow SF to quickly increase or decrease the number of workers based on the immediate needs. For example, during peak season or higher demand for sauce ice cream, SF can easily hire more temporary workers to keep up with the production without committing to long-term employment. So this adaptability ensures that SF can meet its production targets during periods of high demand while avoiding the cost maintaining a large permanent workforce during the slower periods. Okay, so this is the question. We have completed question number 1, and now let's see the question number 2. So the question number 2, that we have to analyze two problems SF may experience when implementing the total quality management. So again, we have to write the two problems. So the first problem, in my point of view, is resistance to change among employees whenever they want to apply the tricky one. So how this will be? So TQM requires a shift in organization's culture with a strong emphasis on continuous improvement, employee involvement, and customer satisfaction. So given that many of SF's employees are on flexible contract, temporary or zero contracts, they may not be fully invested in company's long-term goals or quality initiatives. So the unskilled employees might resist adopting new procedures or taking on additional responsibilities, especially if they receive limited training and perceive TQM as increasing their workload without clear benefits. So this resistance can undermine the effectiveness of TQM as it relies heavily on employee commitment at all levels. Okay. And a second problem will be that there is an initial cost and time consuming implementation. So TQM is a comprehensive approach that requires significant investment in training, process improvements, and possibly new quality management tools. So for SF, which is already operating near full capacity in its factory and facing increasing input cost, for example, fertilizer and energy, and the time resources needed to implement TQM might strain the company's finances and disrupt ongoing production. Furthermore, TQM is not a quick fix. It involves a long-term commitment, continuous improvement, so SF may not see immediate returns on the investment, and managing the transition without negatively impacting productivity could be challenged. So especially with the rising demand for products. So you don't need to write this. Okay. So now let's see the third question. So here we have what we have to do is the question is about the refer table 1.1. Okay. So refer to table 1.1 calculate for quarter one 2023 the season variation. Okay. So again, I'm telling you that you should download the paper and see the table 1.1 from there because I'm just going to solve the question here. And I have just opened the case study on my mobile phone and I'm just looking at my mobile phone and trying to solve this one. Okay. So to calculate the seasonal variation for quarter one of 2023 year, we need to follow the steps. So in step one, we are going to identify the actual sales volume for the quarter. So if you see from table 1.1, the sales volume for quarter one um, in 2023 is 16,000 liters. And now in step two, what we have to do, we have to identify centered quarterly moving average from for the quarter. So centered quarterly moving average for the quarter one of 2023 is 23.75. And this is given in the table 1.1. And now in the third step, we have to calculate the seasonal variation. So the formula for seasonal variation would be is equal to actual sales volume minus centered moving average. So seasonal variation for question number one is 16,000 was the actual sales minus 23,750 percentage moving average. So we have minus 7,750 liters, which is sales variation. So in conclusion, the sales variation for quarter one of 2003 is minus 7.75 thousands liter. So this is my answer for question number. Uh, what was the question number? Question number three, part A. Now let's try to solve the second question, B part. So in B part, what we have to do, we have to find out the centered quarterly moving average for quarter 2 and referring table 1.1 again. Okay. So to calculate the standard quarterly moving average for quarter 2 to 2023, we need to find the average of the moving average for quarter 1 and quarter 3. So from table 1.1, 1.1, the centered quarterly moving average for quarter 1 is 23.75, and the centered quality moving average for quarter 3, which is 26.0. So first of all, what we have to do in the first step, we have to add the centered moving average for quarter 1 and 3. So 23.75 plus 26.00 is equal to 49.75. So in step 2, we have to divide it by 2 to find the centered quarterly moving average for quarter 2. So 49.75 divided by 2 is equal to 24.875. So the centered quarterly moving average for quarter 2, 203 is this. Okay. So now let's read the other question. Okay, so we have to evaluate the usefulness of sales forecasting. Okay, so from here we are going to start our question. So sales forecasting can be highly useful for soy maj farmers in several ways. So especially given its diverse product portfolio and competitive market condition, here are some key reasons why sales forecasting is beneficial to SF. So now let's see. So the first benefit would be that the capacity planning. So the first thing is the capacity planning and the production optimization. So sales forecasting allows SF to predict future demand for its products such as sauce, ice cream, and tofu. Accurate forecast help SF plan its production schedule efficiently, ensuring that it meet customer demand without overproducing. So given that SF's factory is already operating over 90% capacity, so precise forecast will help SF to decide whether to invest in capacity expansion or outsourcing, aligning with production with the projected sales and avoiding the unnecessary strain or on resources. Second advantage would be that there would be strategic decision making. So forecasting sales helps SF management make informed decision. For example, accurate projections can inform decisions about entering new markets such as a potential export of sauce ice cream to country D. Additionally, sales forecasting can guide investment decisions such as whether to automate production or outsource ice cream manufacturing based on the expected demand and the financial return. Third one would be the inventory and resource management. So sales forecasting is essential for managing inventory, ensuring that SF has enough raw material, for example, soybeans, and finished goods on hand to meet demand. It also helps in planning for the procurement of the inputs like fertilizer and energy, which have been rising cost, and effective forecasting can prevent stockouts and overstocking, and both of which can have financial consequences. And it's important for financial planning and the cash flow management. So by predicting the future sales volume, SF can estimate future revenue streams and helping its manage cash flow for more effectively. This is particularly important given the seasonal and weather dependent nature of core crops. So forecasting allows SF to anticipate periods of high or low sales, ensuring that they can plan for fluctuation in income, make necessary adjustment to spending, investment, or borrowing. So basically, you have to write two advantages and two disadvantages of using the sales forecasting. So, and at the end, you have to write the conclusion. Okay. So this is my conclusion. So sales forecasting is a critical tool for SF, enabling better capacity planning, strategic decision making, financial management, and risk mitigation. So accurate forecasting, aligning production with demand, helps SF navigate the competitive and fluctuating markets and supports the long-term growth and profitability. Okay. So now we are going to see the other question. So in question number 4, we have to find out by referring table 1.2, we have to calculate the accounting rate of return of automating production. Okay, so to calculate the accounting rate of return, we have to use the following formula. So the formula is ARR is equal to average annual accounting profit divided by initial investment multiplied by 100. So first of all, we have to calculate total net cash flow over the project's life. So from table 1.2, the net cash flow for over 6 years are in year 0. This is 3.0 million, which is capital cost. And year 1, there is 0.3 million. And year 2, this is 0.5. Year 3, this is 0.8. In year 4, this is 1.0. In year 5, this is 1.1 million. And in year 6, this is 1.7 million. So including residual capital value of 0.5 million, so total net cash flow over the 6 years would be equal to $5.4 million. So now in step 2, we have to calculate the average annual accounting profit. So since year 0 is the initial investment, so exclude that from the average. So average annual profit would be the total net cash flow and we have to divide it by 6. So 5.4 divided by 6. We have 0.9 million per year. And now in step 3, we have to calculate the ARR. So ARR's formula, putting the value 0.9, which is uh, the total net cash flow, and 0.9 divided by 0.3. Sorry, 3.0. Multiply 100. So this is equal to 30%. So accounting rate of return for automating production is 30%. Okay. So now let's read the next question. Okay, so the next question is that evaluate whether SF should invest in the automating production. Okay. So the first thing that why they should invest in it, the financial viability. So based on the calculation of the accounting rate of return, the ARR of automation production is 30%, which we just calculated, so which exceeds SF's required minimum of 20%. So this indicates that the investment is financially viable and expected to generate a greater rate, higher return than the company's benchmark. The net cash flow from the automation investment also shows positive returns over time. with a total net cash flow of $5.4 million over 6 years. And the number two is capacity issue. So SF is currently operating in its factory at over 90% capacity. So which suggests that the existing setup is nearing its limit. So automation would increase production efficiency and likely increase the capacity without the need for additional shift or excessive labor. And this would allow SF to meet the growing demand for the products like saucy ice cream and tofu. And the third advantage would be that there would be cost reduction and efficiency gains. So in this question, you have to write two advantage, two disadvantage, but I have written more. So you can gain maximum knowledge, but you have to write only two advantage and two disadvantage. So automation is likely to reduce labor costs by requiring fewer employees for tasks currently performed manually. And this can be particularly important for SF, which uses many unskilled flexible workers on zero contract. Automation can enhance the efficiency, reduce errors, and help address the quality problems and a factory is experiencing, especially with the recent rise in the rejected products. Fourth advantage would be the quality management. So automation could help address in the rising quality issues in SF's factory. So as a part of total quality management, automated process can ensure consistency and accuracy in production. So potentially lowering the rate of product reduction for saucy ice cream and tofu, and which has been a concern for the factory manager. And the next one is long-term competitive advantage. So given the growing demand for non-dairy product in country B and potential opportunities to export saucy ice cream to country D, automation could give SF a long-term competitive edge and increase production capacity and improve the product quality, could position SF to expand its market share both domestically and the internationally. But there is some risk and initial cost. So while the financial reward returns are promising, there is still a capital cost of 3.0 million, which is a significant upfront investment. So if market condition change, such as drop in demand for non-dairy products or increased competition from the other manufacturers, so SF might face risk in recouping with the investment. So additionally, there may be disruption to current operations during the installation, the transition to automated production. And we can also uh, consider alternatives. So SF's manager director is also considering outsourcing the production of sauce ice cream. So outsourcing could offer flexibility without the need for large capital investment and could reduce risk associated with capacity expansion. So however, it may lead to potential quality control issue, loss of operation oversight, and reduced profit margin since SF would have to pay a third party for the production services. And in conclusion, I have written that SF should seriously consider investing in automation based on the financial returns and the benefits of increased efficiency, capacity, and quality control. So automation aligns with the SF's long-term growth strategy, particularly as it looks to the capitalize on the rising demand for non-dairy products. So while there are risks, especially with the upfront cost, investment appears to be a sound decision for long-term profitability and the competitive advantage. However, SF should also evaluate outsourcing as a viable alternative, balancing the need for flexibility with the potential loss of control over the production quality. So, conducting a detailed cost benefit analysis, both options will be crucial to make the final decision. Okay, so now let's see the other person. And this is the last question, question number 5. Um, evaluate the impact Evaluate the impact on SF of country B becoming a member of the NFTA International Trading Agreement. So now let's discuss the positive impacts first. So the positive impact is that it would reduce the input cost. It means the fertilizer import. So SF currently import fertilizers from country D, which is the part of NFTA, and with the removal of tariff under the NFTA agreement, SF would benefit from the lower import cost on fertilizer, and this reduction in input cost would help alleviate some of the pressure SF faces due to recent price increase in key inputs such as fertilizers and energy. So in return, SF could either reduce its production cost or maintain the more competitive pricing for its products, improving its profitability. Second advantage would be the opportunities for export growth. So the NFT includes the several high income countries, and SF could take advantage of zero tariff access to these markets, which are likely to have a significant demand for processed food products like sauce, ice cream, and tofu. So this would align with SF's recent SWOT analysis, which identified opportunities to sell food products in the neighboring countries. And by exporting these high-income markets, SF could potentially boost its finance revenue and diversify its customer base, reducing dependence on the domestic market and country B. And now let's see the negative effect, because you don't only need to write two benefits and two negative. So what would be its negative effects? So negative effects would be increased competition from soya producers. So one of the member of NAFTA is described as one of the largest producer of soya in the world, and this could mean that SF faces increased competition from large, more efficient soya producers within the NAFTA. So with zero tariff on agriculture and import, SF might struggle to compete with these larger, potentially lower cost producer, and especially in the domestic market for soya and maize, and this could lead to price pressure and reduce profitability for SF core agriculture business. And the other one is there would be a pressure on domestic prices. So in country B, reduces tariff on imports such as part of NAFTA agreement. So SF might face lower price imported agriculture commodities from other NAFTA members, and this could lower the market price for soya and maize in country B and further squeezing the SF's margin in these core areas. So as a result, SF may be forced to either improve operational efficiency to remain competitive or shift further away from their own agriculture production towards a high margin process foods like sauce, ice cream, and tofu. And now in conclusion, so the NAFTA membership presents both opportunities and challenges for SF. So the company could benefit from the reduced input cost, expanded export opportunities, and improve the competitiveness in processed food. However, SF may also face increased competition in its core agriculture business and downward pressure on prices due to the entry of the lower cost import from NAFTA countries. So to mitigate these risks, SF should focus on the strengthening its processed food segment, which offers higher value added opportunities and is less vulnerable to direct competition from a large agriculture producer. So additionally, SF could explore ways to differentiate its soya and maize products through quality, branding, and sustainability initiatives, ensuring it remains competitive in both domestic and the international markets. So overall, if managed well, NAFTA membership could drive significant growth for SF. So that's my conclusion. Okay, so we have completed this paper, and let's meet in the other video with the new paper. Till then, goodbye, Allah Hafiz.